He has all of the pieces in order to make this. If it's a shootout, go win the shootout.
Doesn't win this game, a lot of people are going to shout his name.
Question goes as follows. Derek, as always,
Mm-hmm.
you will be answering it first.
Mm-hmm.
Dean, Derek, longtime listener since the beginning, love the podcast. Appreciate you taking my question. On the football front, I am going to stick within the playoffs. In the divisional round, is this game bigger and more important for their careers for Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's a great question.
All right. So I choose who I think it's bigger for.
In what capacity? So this game coming up, the Buffalo Bills against the Ravens, whose career legacy, not, I don't want to say legacy, they're both still young, but which quarterback does this game matter more to in terms of their overall NFL career so far?
I honestly think I think it's Lamar. I think it affects Lamar big time because what we've seen in the past couple of years, Lamar can take his team to the playoffs consistently. But his problem is he can't win in big games. This is the biggest game of them all to get to most likely Mahomes.
Yep.
It's it's gonna be very hard for Lamar, obviously going into Buffalo,
Yeah.
but I think it's definitely bigger for Lamar because I feel like if he doesn't win this game, a lot of people are gonna shit on his name for not being able to lead his team to Super Bowl after getting Derrick Henry, building the offensive line, getting the defense. So I think it's bigger for Lamar than it's Josh Allen.
Okay. So I'm gonna go off the bat and say I do agree with you, but for different reasons, and I'll explain. I think this game is bigger for Lamar Jackson in terms of his career. For one reason, Josh Allen has made it to the conference finals multiple times, right?
Nope.
And all of the times he's lost against the Chiefs. So I think his quote unquote legacy game would be against the Chiefs again. That's just my opinion, right? On the flip side of things, Lamar, like you mentioned, uh doesn't have a great playoff record. With the win against Pittsburgh, it is now 3-4, but he's lost in the games that have mattered, right? He lost in the AFC Championship last year to the Kansas City Chiefs. He lost in the AFC divisional round in 2021 to the Buffalo Bills. So when it comes to these big time moments, Lamar hasn't. And you don't want to pin it all on one guy, right? Because he is a phenomenal talent. He's a two-time MVP, possibly a three-time MVP after this year.
Should be.
But he has to take that next step and beat one of the great teams, quote unquote, great teams in the AFC to continue to move up. Right? And you can make that argument even if he beats the Bills this week. You can make that argument the following week too against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So it's tough. The other point that I want to make is this is definitely the best team he's had in his career.
Easily.
It's the most complete team that he's had on offense by far when you have not only Harbaugh still as your coach, but you have Derrick Henry, who's a monster on the ground. You have the most complete wide receiver core in Zay Flowers and Bateman, and you have the two tight end monster in Likely and Andrews. Not to mention a top 10 offensive line in the game. So he has all of the pieces in order to make this. The one thing I don't want to hear after this game is if it is a shootout, I don't want to hear that it's on the defense. If it's a shootout, go win the shootout.
Yeah.
That's that's just my opinion because when it is a shootout and neither defense is playing well, the quarterback has to step up and go win a game.
Exactly.
So for all of those reasons, and I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that Lamar Jackson is a bad quarterback or an underachieving quarterback. The guy's a two-time MVP. He is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, and he may be on his way to becoming one of the best quarterbacks of all time just because of his versatility, right? In the run game. No, we haven't seen anybody even close to him since Vic.
Yeah.
So what he's done is tremendous. His next step is he has to do it in the playoffs. He has to take his team to a Super Bowl and put a ring on it.
There's one thing I will say, like leading off of this, is that in my opinion, if Lamar captures the MVP this year
Yep.
and he captures the Super Bowl ring,
Yep.
I think he's the I think he's the best quarterback. I know it's this is an extremely hot take, and I know I and Mahomes is phenomenal. He is. I can't say he's not. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think you can make that argument right this second. Look, what is there realistically? Three quarterbacks in the NFL who can maybe vie against Lamar in Josh Allen, Burrow, and Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think that's the only three quarterbacks that he's really competing against, if you want my honest opinion.
I 100% agree.
So when you look at it from that perspective, he beats all of them in the ground game. Josh Allen is a close second. That guy is an absolute tank when he's coming down the lane,
It's very scary.
right? In the passing game, he's improved tenfold throughout his career, which I give him a lot of props for because he got a lot of shit for it in the beginning of his career.
Hmm.
So he's improved on all of these metrics, making the smart decisions, running out of the pocket, which he does extremely well, throwing on the run, not throwing as many interceptions as he did earlier in his career. You can make that argument now, Derek. I don't think that's a bold take. I do think, though, for him to cement himself as one of the best of all times when it's said and done, he does need to win a ring or two.
Oh yeah, especially now with Henry. Come on.
And I do want to say on the flip side of things, this is a huge game for Josh Allen too, right? He's on that exact same trajectory as Lamar Jackson where he hasn't gotten over the hump, where he hasn't made it to a Super Bowl yet, where he hasn't had those accolades that all quarterbacks covet. So I'm not displacing this game where this is a whatever game for Josh Allen. It's a huge fucking game for him.
Hmm.
Huge. I just think that he's gotten farther and his expectations, to be quite fair, are a little bit lower in terms of what the people see, the
Exactly.
public perception.
Yeah. I think honestly, this is probably the best mailbag question we've gotten. Because this one is actually, and I know I made the answer quick, but like it was very
Yeah,
hard for me to like think about like who's bigger for,
yeah,
because it's big for both, but I feel like Lamar obviously takes the edge just by a little bit because of the situation he's in.
yeah. I agree. But anyway, Derek, do you have anything else to add on this one?
No, that's a really good question. Damn.
All right, Zane, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Zane.
Thank you. Yep, thank you very much. You stay warm out there in Tennessee.